We've all had that uneasy feeling, walking home alone at night, hearing footsteps that don't belong to us, or feeling unseen eyes watching from the shadows. Sometimes it's just paranoia, but sometimes the fear is very real. Tonight, I bring you 5 terrifying true stories of people who walked home alone and were never the same again. Stay alert, stay safe, and whatever you do, don't look back. A woman named Lisa had just finished a late shift at work. It was only a 10-minute walk home, but that night, she noticed a black van parked near the sidewalk. She didn't think much of it until she heard the engine start and the tires roll forward, keeping pace with her. She turned onto another street. The van followed. Her heart pounded. She tried to stay calm, thinking maybe she was just being paranoid, until she saw the van's window roll down. A man inside grinned at her and whispered, "Get in." Lisa ran. She dashed through back alleys and side streets, hearing the van's tires screech as it tried to turn around. She barely made it to her front door before the van sped off into the night. The next morning, she saw a news report. A woman had been abducted in the same area by a man in a black van. Lisa never walked home alone again. It was a cold winter night when a college student named Ryan took a shortcut home. He knew the alley was creepy, but it would shave 5 minutes off his walk. Halfway through, he heard something, a scuffling noise behind him. He turned. Nothing. He kept walking, but then he heard it again. Closer. Ryan turned again. This time he saw it, a tall, shadowy figure at the alley's entrance. It didn't move. It just stood there. Then the streetlight above flickered, and the figure was suddenly halfway down the alley. Ryan bolted. He swears he heard footsteps pounding behind him, but when he burst onto the main street and looked back, the alley was empty. That alley has since been closed off. Some say it's haunted. Ryan, however, believes something far worse lurks in the dark. Mia lived in a quiet suburb, and walking home was usually peaceful. One night, she was coming back from a friend's house when she heard a soft rustling in the bushes beside the sidewalk. She stopped. So did the rustling. She started walking again. So did the rustling. Her heart pounded as she picked up her pace. Suddenly she heard it, a deep, slow breathing coming from the bushes. She ran. As she reached her driveway, she looked back. A pair of hands were reaching out from the bush. She slammed the door shut and called the police. When they arrived, they found footprints leading from the bushes straight to her window. She never found out who or what was waiting for her that night. Jake was used to walking home late, but one night, he saw a man standing under a streetlight ahead. The man wasn't moving, just staring straight ahead, completely still. Jake crossed the street. The man turned his head slowly to follow him. Uneasy, Jake sped up, but the man suddenly took a single, stiff step forward. Then another. Then another. Jake ran. He didn't stop until he reached his apartment, but just as he unlocked the door, he felt someone standing behind him. He spun around. The sidewalk was empty, but across the street, under another streetlight, the man was still watching. Jake never saw him again, but he always wonders, was he really alone that night? Emily was just a few blocks from her house when she heard it, a whisper. Emily, she froze. There was no one around. She walked faster, but the whisper came again, closer this time. Emily, don't run. She broke into a sprint, reaching her house and slamming the door shut. The whisper stopped. But When she checked her phone later, she found an audio recording.
I see. I see.
Walking home alone can feel like just another part of life, until it isn't. Stay aware. Trust your instincts. And the next time you hear a whisper in the dark, don't turn around.